Fallon Sherrock was once the most talked about name in darts. From electrifying wins to breaking gender barriers, she wasn't just playing the game, she was changing it. But recently, a different story has been bubbling beneath the surface. One the PDC has avoided addressing, one Fallon herself has tiptoed around. Has Fallon Sherrock been blacklisted by the PDC? Before we get into the scandal, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're here for the darts drama they never show on TV. What you're about to hear might completely change the way you view the sport and the people running it. Let's rewind. In 2019, Fallon Sherrock made history at the World Championship, becoming the first woman to beat a man on the Alexandra Palace stage. And she didn't stop at one win, she knocked out two male players, made headlines globally, and was dubbed the Queen of the Palace. For a moment, it seemed like she was about to become the face of modern darts. The PDC cashed in quickly. TV spots, exhibition invites, and appearances galore. Fallon was everywhere, but that spotlight didn't last. Flash forward to now, and Sherrock is barely visible in PDC events. She's not on the main cards. She's left off the World Series. She wasn't even in the 2024 Premier League lineup, despite having more name recognition than half the field. So what happened? Insiders believe it all started with tensions behind the scenes. According to multiple sources, Fallon clashed with PDC organisers over scheduling, media commitments, and pay structure for female players. One source close to the situation said she started asking questions the PDC didn't want to answer, and that's when the invites stopped coming. Others say her management team made aggressive demands that rubbed senior figures the wrong way. One rumour claims her team requested equal pay with male stars for exhibition events and was swiftly told to stand down. Not long after, Sherrock's name started disappearing from key tournaments. But it didn't stop there. In early 2024, Sherrock went public about her health struggles, revealing she'd been battling serious kidney issues. Most fans showed support, but behind the scenes, some say the PDC saw it as a PR liability. One promoter claimed they want players who are available, marketable, and compliant. Fallon was becoming none of those. And then came the incident that really set off alarms. At a Pro Tour event in Germany, Sherrock was reportedly pulled from a livestream match at the last minute, the reason unconfirmed. But several players present claimed it was because she was wearing an unsanctioned sponsor logo. Others said it was retaliation for recent interviews where she criticised the tour structure. Whatever the truth, that was the moment whispers of a blacklisting began. And those whispers have only grown louder. According to leaked emails posted on social media, at least two event organisers claimed they were advised not to book Sherrock for upcoming shows. The wording, not suitable at this time. And here's where it gets even more suspicious. While Fallon was being quietly sidelined, the PDC began heavily promoting other female players. Beau Greaves, Lisa Ashton, and others were suddenly getting the spotlight. Great players in their own right, but some fans noticed the shift. It felt like a rebrand, one fan posted, like they were trying to replace Fallon without admitting it. Even commentators on Sky Sports and DAZN seemed to change their tone. Where Fallon was once described as the future of darts, she was now just another challenger. But the biggest clue came earlier this year when Sherrock wasn't selected for the Women's World Match Play, despite ranking high enough to qualify. The official reason? Schedule conflicts. But insiders say she was available, and furious. In a cryptic tweet, she wrote, "When you speak up, you find out who really supports you." And support has been dwindling. Sponsors have pulled out. Media requests have slowed. Even her social media accounts have toned down. Fans are starting to ask, has she been told to stay quiet? One theory, Fallon Sherrock became too powerful, too vocal, and the PDC, a tightly controlled organisation, doesn't like unpredictability. They wanted a storybook character, not a real person, a former tour manager said. The moment she stopped playing along, she became a problem to solve. Others go further. One darts podcast recently claimed that Sherrock was offered a PR script for all interviews, which she refused to follow. Another source alleges that her refusal to endorse certain products cost her favour with major stakeholders. And while none of this is confirmed by the PDC, the silence is deafening. Requests for comment from the PDC have been ignored. Fallon herself has only said, "I'm focused on my health and my game. The rest will speak for itself." But will it? Because if the world's most recognisable female darts player can be pushed aside this easily, what does that mean for the next generation? There's a growing sense among fans that something isn't right. Reddit threads have exploded with theories, TikTok accounts have started piecing together timelines, and behind the scenes, at least one current female player is said to be terrified of speaking up. Why? Because the PDC holds the keys. They control the invites, the coverage, the commentary, and in a sport where sponsorship is everything, that control is absolute. But the pressure might be starting to show. Last week, a viral video showed Sherrock hugging an official after a low-tier event win. Fans speculated she was crying. The caption, "She deserves better." And maybe she does. Fallon Sherrock paved the way for women in darts. But the story behind her disappearance from the spotlight feels less like a chapter ending and more like a cover-up. Some fans believe the situation is even darker. One Reddit thread speculated that Sherrock may have been pressured to sign a non-disclosure agreement, effectively gagging her from discussing the real reasons behind her absence. While this theory remains unconfirmed, the lack of transparency has only fed the flames. Others have pointed to Sherrock's sudden withdrawal from a media appearance in May 2024 as another red flag. She was scheduled for a feature interview on a mainstream UK sports channel. The segment was mysteriously pulled hours before airing. The broadcaster blamed editorial reshuffling, but insiders claim the PDC intervened. Meanwhile, some in the darts media have started to back her again. One prominent journalist wrote, "The PDC owes Fallon Sherrock and fans some answers. You don't erase a pioneer without raising eyebrows." But still, the official response has been silence. No statements, no clarifications, no apology. And fans aren't just speculating anymore, they're getting organised. Petitions have begun circulating online demanding Fallon's reinstatement into marquee events. One has already surpassed 10,000 signatures. Even players are starting to break rank. An anonymous female pro recently told a podcast, "We all know what's going on. We just don't want to be next." If that's true, it suggests a chilling environment, one where speaking out leads to erasure. And yet, despite all of this, Fallon continues to play. Quietly, professionally, but the fire hasn't gone out. In fact, it might be burning brighter than ever. One clip captured her mouthing something under her breath after a recent win. Still here. Yes, she is. But for how long? Let us know what you think in the comments. Smash that like button if you think Fallon deserves answers. And subscribe for more darts stories they don't want you to hear. Because in this game, silence speaks volumes. And right now, Fallon Sherrock is saying more by being left out than any interview ever could.